Buttons need to make a comeback. Now, you're probably thinking, Harley, there's buttons everywhere you look. There's buttons on your keyboard on your laptop right here. There's buttons on my phone. There's still buttons. Hold on, let me clarify. Buttons need to come back on headphones. You see, here at SoundGuys, we've tested hundreds of headphones throughout the years, and we will continue to test hundreds of headphones in the coming years until the sun burns out or we all win the lottery, whichever comes first. And one of the trends we've noticed in the most recent product releases from headphone manufacturers like Bose, Sony, and Sennheiser is the way they're trying to design their control schemes. We've noticed that instead of physical buttons for primary controls like playback and volume, a lot of these companies are opting for capacitive touch sensors or swipe gestures. For example, you see swipe gestures being the main method of control on headphones like the Sony WH-1000 XM6, the Bose QC Ultra headphones. Now, while there are cool features and implementations of the touch sensor for control, like with the XM6, you can hold the ear cup to go into transparency mode. That's pretty sweet. While that's cool, it is also not the most reliable means of controlling headphones. In fact, I often find that when I'm testing these headphones, it's really easy to accidentally go from 50 to 100% volume on something like the Bose QC Ultra touch strip. And then if I'm wearing the wrong kind of gloves, I can't actually use those controls. It doesn't register. It can get really annoying. Or even when I'm just repositioning the ear cup, the palm of my hand or parts of my finger accidentally touch the sensor on the ear cup and accidentally turn up the volume or go to the next track. It can get really annoying. But the solution to this problem has already existed before the problem was even created. Buttons. We should go back to just nice old physical controls. And in fact, there have been a few companies recently that have been making really good control schemes on their headphones that use tactile physical buttons, and I wanted to name a few of them in this video. The first and most recent example of headphones with a good set of physical tactile controls is actually the Nothing Headphones 1. My colleague Adam did a great job breaking down those features in his full review, which you can check out right here. But basically, Nothing with their first ever flagship headphones came out of the gate strong with their control scheme here. You've got the roller, which is used to control volume and play pause, the paddle for moving track forward, backward, or seeking through tracks is really great. You've got the multifunction button on the outside to control Nothing exclusive features or to customize it based on your device. And then the Bluetooth pairing button, while a little bit finicky to get to, because you kind of gotta have to do one of these things to find the button. It's a little out of the way, but it's also not a bad location since you're not gonna be using the Bluetooth pairing button every single time you use the headphones. Basically, I love that there are no touch controls here. When you press the button or use the roller or use the paddle, you get instant feedback. It just works. Awesome. More of that, please. Next up, we've got the Sonos Ace. It's a little bit of an underdog in the flagship noise-canceling headphones market. One of the biggest features I loved about these headphones was the tactile control scheme. You can control most of the headphones' functions through what Sonos calls the control key, which is essentially a combination slider button. You slide up and down to control volume up, volume down. You press the control key to play or pause, and then you double press to move forward track, and then triple press to go to the previous track. And then, of course, you can long press the control key in order to enable the TV audio swap feature, which of course is a Sonos exclusive feature that's used with their soundbars. And if you want to learn more about that, you can check out my review of the Sonos Ace right here. Now, there is that other button on the Sonos Ace. It's the noise control button, as the name implies. You press it to toggle ANC in aware mode, or you can long press it to trigger your voice assistant. Again, two basic, simple controls that just work. Honestly, good job, Sonos. Next pair of headphones is a bit of a wild card. It's actually the Dyson OnTrack headphones. Now, these headphones are way too expensive, but I will give them credit for one thing, which is their control scheme. The highlight of which is the fact that they used a joystick to control a majority of the functions here. You just press it to play pause, you move it up or down for volume up, down, left or right to go to the previous or next track, and kind of like the paddle on the Nothing headphones, you can hold the joystick left or right to seek through a track, and then of course if you press and hold, you can trigger your voice assistant. Now, there is another button on the left ear cup to toggle the power Bluetooth pairing mode, but again, just two basic control areas that just work. They're physical, no touch sensor, it just works, it's responsive, never had a miss with them. I love buttons. My last example of headphones with good control scheme is the AirPods Max. It's essentially the control scheme of the Apple Watch, but put on the side of a pair of headphones. For example, most of the function is controlled through the digital crown. And if you've used an Apple Watch, you will know how to control the AirPods Max. You just scroll forward and backward to control volume, press to play pause, double press to go to the next track, triple press to go to the previous track, and then you hold to trigger Siri. And then of course you've got the button right next to it, which looks like any button you'd find on an iPhone or an Apple Watch. And that's used to toggle between ANC and transparency mode, or to put your AirPods Max into pairing mode. Now, I'm not knocking swipe and capacitive touch sensor controls in general here. I think they have a place. Like, I like them on true wireless earbuds, but for headphones, I don't know. I kind of feel like we just need to go back to buttons. But what do you think? Do you like buttons or do you like swipe controls? It's fine either way. Let me know in the comments down below. But since we're talking about headphones, if you want to know what we think are the best headphones of 2025 are so far, then make sure to take a look at our video right here.